My brain's dead right now. So hopefully that answers some good questions.
Obviously, you probably more than anybody in this building are excited about what's going to happen on Saturday. Can you just talk about that and just talk about just the support in that area for the game?
Yeah, I'm so excited. I think it's been a whirlwind of a week, so I'm just starting to process that it's actually happening. I've kind of just taken things one day at a time, but happy to be back in Minnesota, obviously. And now that I'm kind of focusing on, this and this weekend, I'm so excited. It's cool because I get to see I'm excited to be a part of the Minnesota and WNBA experiencing what Canada is like, but also, Canadians being able to experience what the WNBA is like and Minnesota and Chicago teams. So I see both sides of it, and I'm just super excited to be a part of it and to obviously play in the game. I'm sure it'll be super, super fun. But yeah, there's so much excitement around women's sports in Canada. I think with the Raptors, the success of the Raptors, obviously with them winning a championship a few years ago, Canada basketball is on the rise. Our national program is, doing a lot of great things in the community, especially Toronto area. So there's this excitement around it, and I think, obviously with the ticket sales of this game, that's clear. The numbers show that people are excited. So
It sold out in 10 minutes for a preseason
yeah,
game.
yeah, unbelievable. I think, they did a really good job, obviously marketing it, and again, the city of Toronto, Canadians, but especially the city of Toronto, I think, very invested in sports, and I think, the rise of women's sports is kind of the new thing, it's almost like a culture around it, and people want to be a part of the culture.
Is it your sense that maybe is it similar to here? I mean, you saw what happened with the NCAA tournament here with people who watched the finals and semifinals in particular. Is it similar to that? Do you think it's beyond that up there?
I think it's similar. I mean, when I was growing up, it was hard to watch even NCAA games in Canada. Impossible to watch WNBA games. But now, there's better, obviously, viewing opportunities, so people are able to see it and watch it, and I think that's what's driving this excitement around it, and social media obviously helps. So I think it's similar. I mean, the rise of women's basketball in general, I think Canadians and Americans and the two countries are so similar. It's just obviously the access in America is a little bit better, but things are closer. But
and talk about your week. You finished up. When was your last game, and when did you get here? And Coach said you had a lingering back issue, but do you think you'll be able to play this weekend?
Yeah, I got here. I played Sunday. Got here Monday. It's Wednesday, so I'm still recovering jet lag wise. I had a little back issue a week and a bit ago, but it's nothing serious, and I'm planning on playing on Saturday. Yeah, exactly.
I look back to the bubble season when Syl was hurt for most of that year, and I know that this isn't the same offense that you're running, but there's some similarities. And you had your best season as a pro in that system. Are you excited about what this offense kind of allows or maybe gives you the opportunity to do?
Yeah, for sure. I think one of my strengths as a player is just being able to read the game. And in this offense, it's a lot of freedom and just making the right play and making the right read. And I think, that's what I've kind of built my career on, is just being a solid player who makes good decisions. So that excites me. Obviously, I still am going to take my shot when my shot's open. I'm going to, pass the ball when it's time to pass the ball. And but I'm excited, again, just to be back and playing with this group. Obviously, it's similar to the group last year, so we know what's expected of us. We know that we need to improve. Obviously, we're not proud of what happened last year, and to take a step this year. But yeah, I'm excited to be in that offense for sure.
One last question about the Toronto game. I mean, Toronto's kind of like the New York of Canada. I mean, it's where the media center is, all that stuff. If that market were to get a team in whenever they were to expand, what would it do you think, for women's basketball in that country?
I mean, I think it'd be huge. There's no opportunity to play professional women's sports in Canada right now. Obviously, and that's not the case in all the other countries, not all the other countries, but a lot of other countries around the world. So I think not only having a professional team in Toronto or in Canada would be amazing for, the players that are playing or the culture around it, but, the next generation of athletes, boys and girls who can look up to women can do this in the professional ranks and, be successful playing basketball. And that's just should be the norm. And it's not as accessible in Canada because it's just not around us, like I said, but to have that, in our backyard would be special.
You mentioned that the game sold out in 10 minutes. How how many friends and family do you have coming to the game? And did you have to call in any favor to be able to provide tickets for so many folks?
I think the whole city of Chatham is going. It's like I live like 3 hours from Toronto, but I think a lot of the city of Chatham is coming. My parents texted me today and said they're trying to rent out a space for us to gather after the game for 100 people. So that's like friends and family, and that it goes beyond that, obviously. So it's going to be exciting. Obviously, I haven't seen them since I was overseas, so I'm excited to see them again.
We're going to go to Zoom for our last two questions. We'll start with Chelsea.
Hi, Bridget. Chelsea Late Woodside here. First of all, we are so excited to welcome you home this weekend. I know the buzz here in Canada is just like going wild, but you're about to become the first Canadian WNBA player to play a WNBA game on Canadian soil. So just can you talk a little bit about maybe the emotions going behind that as you're about to make that accomplishment, and also what you hope this game is going to do? You touched a little bit about the youth, but just what you hope the youth will see in you and in this game coming to Canada, and what you hope for the future of Canadian women's basketball, both in the WNBA and with the Canada basketball program.
Yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, it's going to be probably overwhelming, and I'm preparing myself for that. Just to see so many familiar faces in the crowd. Obviously, all my connections through like so many coaches that have been a part of my career so far growing up. It's going to be pretty surreal just to see them all. I probably won't be able to talk to half of the people I want to talk to. Not enough hours in the day, but just to see so many familiar faces, it'll be really, really special, especially playing for the Lynx, a franchise I've played with. This is like my 5th year now, and so to have the Canadians see this side of me or see this part of my professional career is pretty cool. So I'm excited about that. As far as the continuing to grow the game in Canada, I think with our national team, especially, obviously our men's national team is continuing to rise. Our women's team, we got 4th at the World Cup this past September, and it's continuing to get better and better. There's so many great athletes that are in the NCAA that, hopefully are going to be in the league one day. So it's just continuing to get better and better, and that's fun to be a part of. But there's that excitement, like I talked about before, around women's basketball and the culture around it. And I think that'll just continue to grow, especially with this new generation, with social media. And, I'm happy to be an ambassador of that, or, along with like Kia and Natalie. Those are 2 of my great friends. And to have them kind of through this process, I know they're not playing in the game with me, but we're always talking and communicating and trying to like lead the way for Canadian women's basketball, especially. So it's super, super special, and I'm so excited. It's going to be pretty fun, hopefully, and overwhelming.
Last question. Go ahead, Jack.
Hey, BC, good to see you. Welcome back. Glad you're in one piece after a crazy week. I know we've talked about the impact that the senior women's national team has had on young girls in Canada, but can you just describe, what type of impact do you think that this could have on girls seeing, women's professional basketball players there in a WNBA format?
Yeah, I mean, to see something, it's one thing to know about the WNBA, to, hear about it, but it's another to go to a game, to see it, to see, the shoes that you could potentially be in, however many years. I was lucky growing up. I had my mom to look up to who played Division II basketball, but a lot of people, especially in Canada, we don't have access to those kinds of things in our backyard. Our senior team, we don't ever play in Canada. We train there, but we don't ever play games in Canada, or very rarely. And so if we do, that's a big moment for basketball in Canada, especially on the women's side. So I think to go to a game as a kid, to go to a WNBA game, it's just so inspiring. And that can mean so many different things to so many different people, to know that, you can do anything through sport, if that's what you choose to do, if that's what you love to do, and that's what you want to do. And not even just athletes, the jobs, the opportunities, the management positions. There's so many great things about sport, and so many opportunities through sport, even not just as an athlete. So I'm excited for, people to see that and be a part of it and experience it, and to come to the game and to enjoy it and to continue to grow the game in general.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Yeah, they're still figuring